Behemshah to the voice notes that I made a while ago concerning the Rebbe's Hanhagos during Davening, and I said those things which just came to my mind then, so a few more small things came to my mind, which I'm mentioning now. And number one, when the Rebbe would clap with his hands on his chest, when he said Rashamnu or whatever it was, he did it while his body was bent forward. He would bend forward and say Rashamnu and clap Rashamnu Bagadno, all these, till he would come to Titonu. Then by Sarnu, he would still stay bent, clap with his hand Sarnu, keep his hand on his chest till the end, till Vanachnu Hirshon, and then he would clap again. And he would do this every time that he would clap with his hand on his chest. The Moshel, when it came to Chatonu, Pashonu in Shmenesre, by Slachlono, also when he would clap on his chest, he would bend forward and clap. Or in Kippur, when he would say Al-Chet, the whole time while he was saying Al-Chet, he was bent while he was clapping. That's number one. Number two, I mentioned that the Rebbe would, in those years, when he davened for the Omid, he would daven most of the davening out loud. But I want to mention that when it came to a line which was in Aramish, then the Rebbe would say it quietly. For instance, when it came before Baruch Shomar, the Shem Yichot Kudshu Brich V'Shchinte, which is Aramish, he would say that quietly. Till then he would say loud. After that he would say loud. The Shem Yichot, he would say it quietly. When it came to the end of Oz Yoshir, where you say Shem Yimlech Leilam Voed twice, and then you say Hashem Al Chusikoyim Lolam Lol Me'omaya, which is a posik in Aramish. So till then he would say loud. After that, Kivosus Pari was loud. The posik Hashem Al Chusikoyim Lolam Lol Me'omaya, he would say quiet. Comes to Volitzian. By Volitzian we say certain psukim in Aramish, like Makablim Deinim Dein, and also in Taltani Rucha and Hashem Al Chusikoyim, he would say the other ones loud, but when it came to the Aramish ones, he would say it quietly. Another thing, people know that before the Nesiyas, they say the Rebbe would count. When he would say the 11 Samamonim by Peter Makteris, he would say Hatzori, Vatzipein, Vachelbun, he would count with his fingers. So I was watching Chavhei, most of the times the Rebbe didn't do it. There were a few times that I noticed that the Rebbe did count with his fingers, which means he would say it, and his hands was on the side of his body, and you could see while his hand is hanging down the side of his body, he would count with his fingers. Atzori, one finger, Hatzepein, and the next one, he would count with his fingers. But it was done very seldom, not too often. Another thing, Shabbos by Minche, when after Kriya they say Kaddish, then middle of Kaddish they put the Sefer Torah back, so the Rebbe would not go back for Shmonesre, go back and then come forward by Shmonesre till after the Oren Kodesh was closed and the Parechas was closed. Only then did the Rebbe go back. Another thing, on Rosh Chodesh, the Rebbe would not start Shmonesre till he heard the patch on the table, the clap on the table that the Gabbai would give to remind everybody to say Al V'Yovei. I even remember once, or more than once, a few times, that the Rebbe turned around. He didn't hear the clap. They forgot, for whatever reason, they didn't do the clap. So the Rebbe turned around and looked and waited for the clap, and now only after the clap, that's when the Rebbe started Shmonesre. Another thing, when the Rebbe said Nefilas Apayim by Minche, which you do with your left hand, and his hand was over the Siddur, the Rebbe would not put his hand on the Siddur. It was in the air. His hand was in the air covering his face, but he did not put his hand down on the Siddur while he was saying the Doved Alech Hashem Nafshi Eso. Another thing, when the Rebbe got an Aliyah upstairs, he would walk over to the Bima when he was called up to the Aliyah. He would look straight across the door. There's a door there, right across the Bima, not mamash across, a little bit diagonal, next to the Omid, there is a door to the hallway. And that door, right across that door, across the hallway, was a bathroom. And the Rebbe would always look to see that this door is closed. And they would make sure to close the door, and the Rebbe would, I wouldn't say always, maybe sometimes not, but most of the time I saw, before he had the Aliyah, before he made the bracha, he would look towards the door to see that that door is closed. I believe it is because that door was towards the door of the bathroom. And another thing, that's something that everyone saw, that when he would walk into shul and would pass the parechas, he would touch the parechas, but he would not kiss his hand afterwards. And the same thing on the way out. And the same thing he did when he gave the mezuzah also. When he passed by a door with a mezuzah, he would put his hand on the mezuzah, but he would not touch kiss his hand, but he would only touch it. And actually that's what it says in Kisvei Arizal, that when you pass a mezuzah, you should put your hand on the mezuzah.